Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Pitch 10.0. When we started this in April 2014, I don't think I could have imagined that we are quite where we are today. And I would just like to say thank you to Her Majesty for letting us move from St James's Palace to Buckingham Palace for this event only. At the moment. Now, I think some of you may have been at the original event, and at that original event, I surprised some people by turning around and taking a selfie. Well, today I've got another surprise for you, and it was slightly presaged in that interview. On your chairs, there is a card that you have sat on. It's a little card, and it looks like that. All right? Once you have got that card, you are then to take your telephone and its camera, and you take the app, and it will tell you to go to, there's a point on the thing, and it says augmented royalty. And if you are so inclined, you may now place the card under the mobile phone like that, and you may now watch me in augmented reality, which means that I can shut up for a couple of moments whilst you do it. And so I'd be really interested if I go 1, 2, 3 now, because then if you all do it at the same time, we might all hear it, but if you do it at different times, it will be an absolute cacophony of disaster. Has everybody managed to watch it yet? Yeah, so there you are. There's 1 or 2 people who've got it. Actually, better still. It's the photograph of you lot doing this is actually even funnier than me giving a speech. It is actually described. There I am. You can see me on the big screen here in augmented royalty. Right. You may play with that at your leisure later on, but that was just to get you... if you haven't upgraded the app or updated the app, which went into the App Store 2 days ago, then you won't be... Somebody else has suddenly found it, yes. I can tell. Look, ladies and gentlemen, as I look back on the journey that was started only in 2014, I couldn't be more proud of the ambitions that we have, as it were, fulfilled, and more importantly, it's going to happen all evening now, isn't it? All the ambitious businesses. Yes, right. I should never have started this, should I? Amanda, this was your idea. But today, Pitch is a mutually supportive operating system for ambitious young businesses that are seeking to scale and to grow. And we are very firmly placed now in a part of the growth economy. The government is doing a great deal to encourage the start-up, but we need to keep that going and to help scale. Just a few statistics that I think might be interesting before we go too far this evening. We've had nearly 50,000 entrepreneurs that have applied to become part of what even the entrepreneurs are calling a clan, which is a pretty remarkable number of applicants. We've held just under 100 events, and we've heard more than 1,700 pitches in that time, and we have 687 alumni, and they have created for themselves just over, in fact, probably a bit more than 800 or so million pounds of economic activity into those businesses. This is the front row getting it bad now. Most importantly, we've created, as you've seen, over 3,000 jobs in that period of time. And the one that I am most surprised about is the fact that we're running at a 96.5% survival rate over that, what it was effectively 4.5–5 years of activity, which I'm led to believe is unusual for a start-up and a scale-up world, because venture is running at about less than 30%. So I'm pleased that we are able to make that sort of significant difference. As a part of that, I thought that it might be helpful to inform what we were going to do for the next stage of development of Pitch, to ask our friends at Cambridge Judge Business School to look at what lies behind some of these numbers. And actually, not only have you got in your bags an annual review, but you've also got the Cambridge Judge Business School report, which will give you a better understanding of what we have discovered. One of the things that we have is one of the highest birth rates of startups in the world, with over the last 2 years or so, the running average of running around about 400,000 new startups. But it's clear that that's only part of the story. And the business school makes some interesting observations on the role that Pitch plays in enabling promising businesses to access the tools that they need to grow. And if they are to make an active contribution to the UK economy, Pitch is just one of a number of programs that helps, and we particularly do this through our, what I like to call, serendipitous connections. And that is where you are so important to this effect. The other thing is that we've been noticing, actually about 3 years ago, that the Golden Triangle of Oxford, Cambridge and London is a sort of nexus of where successful start and scaling businesses come from. And we thought that being what we were doing was for the UK, that we would look further afield and we'd go into the regions. And we've been to Cardiff, Wrexham, Cornwall, Belfast, Huddersfield, Aberdeen, Sunderland and Oldham, and a number of places in between. And what the Business School report observes is that we increase the chance of entrepreneurs outside the Golden Triangle by their likelihood in receiving funding is increased by at least 17%, which is a pretty remarkable statistic, and I'm really pleased that we're able to reach so far and wide across the country, because it is seriously important that those people who have good ideas should get a hearing. And of course, the other thing is that we need to encourage people to think about the team and business process and the engineering of governance and running their businesses, not just having the idea, is equally important. And so we've been working on helping to build teams. And as a result of working with us, the likelihood of businesses here expanding their founding team with about at least 2 more people has increased by about 12% over the period of time that this report has been written. So all of you, thank you very much indeed for your part in this over the last 5 years. It has been incredibly important. So moving on to the here and now, we have 42 entrepreneurs that are here as part of the Pitch and Palace clan. They're all sequestered around the corner today, or at the back, ready to face this really important audience. Remember, my standard ask of the audience is to make one follow-up action with these wonderful opportunities that you will hear from these pitching businesses this evening. As usual, there are some who will pitch for 30 seconds, and there are some who will pitch for 3 minutes. And Mike will take us through how that is going to happen. The other aspect of this, of course, is that they've all been briefed this evening to remember that they have to get the message across to you, and they have to have an ask of you. But just remember, while you're listening, you will know somebody or something that you can do that will make a material difference to these businesses. It may have absolutely no bearing on their ask. So all I ask is that if you can make a connection, it is probably the single most important thing that you can do for these businesses. So without further ado, I will move aside. Mike's going to take over, and it's over to the event, and I will come back at the end with some results and thank yous. But in the meantime, thank you very much indeed for coming this evening. It is a bit cooler in here than St. James's Palace, and I hope it remains that way. We've done it for two reasons, one of which is that at this time of year, at this time of day, people tend to get a little bit low, so they might go to sleep. The banquettes are very comfortable. Don't get any ideas. There are people stationed around with small bits of chalk. And if they catch anybody asleep, there will be an X marked on your suit. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
Technology to protect their clients. We'd like to speak to RBS and other financial services companies about how we can work to protect your clients online. Thank you.
I'm just going to make sure that everyone knows we're now into smart cities. 3-minute pitch from Stasher. Go for it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What a spectacular venue. I'm blown away. In fact, I'm leaving. Well, look, I'm Jacob. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Stasher, and we're building the world's largest urban storage network. What does that mean? Well, to explain, let me tell you our story. So, a few years ago, I was studying at Oxford University with my co-founder, Anthony. And Anthony used to live very centrally in London, between King's Cross and Euston, and so he always had people requesting to leave stuff at his house. On one occasion, it was me, and Anthony joked that he would have to charge me for storing my bags. But that joke was a light bulb moment, as we realized that storage in cities is a genuine problem. You check out early, and your flight's not till later. Or you're going to an event, and the venue won't let you bring your bags in. And at the time, the only solution to this problem were the station lockers, and there are not very many of them left, and they're really expensive. So we built our own simple solution. We knocked together a basic website where people could book to leave their stuff at shops and hotels. Why shops and hotels? Well, they have reliable opening hours, sometimes 24/7. They have CCTV, but most importantly, they are desperate for ancillary revenue streams because they're being squeezed by e-commerce and Airbnb. And the business model is really simple. It's demonstrated on the slide behind me. It's a split commission model. So that's the concept, but what have we achieved so far? Well, a few months after sort of tinkering with the prototype, we decided to write off for investment. So we cold emailed the CEO of Big Yellow Storage. We literally found his email on ceoemails.com. It's a free tip for all the executives in the room on how to reduce your spam, and a free tip for all the entrepreneurs on how to create more. Luckily for us, he didn't ignore us. He wrote back that he loved our vision, loved the idea, and he came on board as our first angel investor. Fast forward a year, and we expanded all across the UK, stored thousands of bags, and then we set our sights internationally. I'm proud to say that as of last week, we're live in over 80 cities worldwide. We've rolled out with Premier Inn to provide storage across their network of hotels. We won Expedia's inaugural travel startup competition. We've maintained a review score of 4.7 out of 5 in over 5,000 reviews. But best of all, we've stored our 125,000th bag with 0 claims on our insurance to date. So the model clearly works, but what I need help with now is raising awareness. We rely heavily on search, but what about the people who don't even think to Google when they have this problem and are simply stuck with their bags? To that end, we've been working on some exciting partnerships, and the best example is Interrail. They now promote us to all their customers, and we provide a discount on storage all across Europe. And we need to do more just like that. There are so many partners we could work with in travel, in tours, in events, in real estate even, and we could provide storage to their customers at a point of time when they really need it. And that's my ask, to connect us with anyone that we could potentially work with. I'd just like to take a moment at the end to reflect how exciting it is to be here tonight, pitching to all you guys when a few years ago we were just 2 guys storing bags in our flats. Let's end with some trumpets.
Stasha, wait. We're going to ask you something quickly. So it's like Airbnb for luggage or packages.
That's how TechCrunch did describe us once in an article. Yeah.
We got it right then. And what's your big ask right now?
I guess it's introductions to partnerships, and to be honest, an introduction to Airbnb themselves would probably be the most fantastic one we could ask for.
I may have their phone number. Marvellous. Thank you so much, Stasha.
Thank you.
Next up, we're covering off all the major groups in technology this evening. Next up, we'll hear 30-second pitches in consumer technology and Internet of Things. We'll hear from Acquire, Beeline, Finego, Near Me Now, and Walk In. Coming up, everybody, let's keep it going. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Butcher. I am the editor-at-large for TechCrunch, a breaking news website based out of San Francisco. And tonight I'm also the co-founder of TechVet, a new not-for-profit here in the UK with my co-founder Mark Milton, which is designed to get military veterans and service leavers into the technology industry and cybersecurity. I hope we have a great time this evening hearing from these entrepreneurs. I will just tell you how this will work. There will be a number of 3-minute pitches and a number of quick 30-second pitches from the entrepreneurs. This is the Palace where you can actually tweet, ladies and gentlemen. Tweet, Instagram. The hashtag is #PitchAtPalace, and you can @PitchAtPalace. And I think that the Duke might need a few more followers on Twitter, so please @him, @the Duke of York, and say hello. When you are voting, you must have in order to vote, and it's very, very important, you must have the app to vote for your favorite entrepreneur. You can vote for 3 entrepreneurs on the app, and that will happen at the end of the process. And you can also use the app to connect with the other entrepreneurs and to help them on their journey. So without further ado, we are going to get the show on the road, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome in this section called Biotech and Medical Technology. We'll have our first 3-minute pitch from BioSure. Come on up.
Somebody has to go first. Good evening, everyone. I'm so excited and privileged to be here tonight. As excited and privileged as I am to work in the sector that we do, where we are saving people's lives and ending a global epidemic. So BioSure and our absolutely phenomenal team developed and launched the world's first HIV self-test. This is it here. It's incredibly easy to use. It uses a fraction of a drop of blood. The person gets their own easy-to-read result in 15 minutes. So it's like a pregnancy test. It has 1 line or 2 lines. And that's it, really, in a nutshell. It's incredibly accurate and easy to use. Now, when we launched, there was huge skepticism and anxiety about Would people want to self-test? Could they use our product? Could they refer into care? Would there be any social harms? And as part of our global scale-up, we've generated really robust evidence and data to allay those fears. And actually, we've proven quite the opposite. When you give someone the responsibility, the choice to take ownership of their status, they feel very empowered. And that changes behaviour and it gives people confidence to make different choices. The real game changer around HIV is the development in antiretroviral treatments. So now when someone's diagnosed, they can go onto a treatment regime, which is sometimes just 1 tablet a day, and the virus can be suppressed to undetectable levels. That means their health is protected, and most importantly, they can't pass it on. And this is the cornerstone for the UN's ambitious goals to eradicate HIV by the year 2030. So we have to get people to test, to get them on treatment. And this test reaches the people that other tests don't reach. So we have good buy-in at grassroots level. We know people do want to test. The problem we have is changing the perception in the gatekeepers, in the decision makers. So, for example, we can't get our product onto the shelf in Boots because they're worried what might happen. Public Health England have just cancelled a tender that they advertised. Of HIV warriors. Let people know how easy it is to know their status on their own terms, how important that is, how to change the conversation, and how to get people talking and thinking differently about HIV. Because together we can end this epidemic and create the world's first AIDS-free generation. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Look at that. Bang on.
There's going to be a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to wait for them to go off. It's going to be great. Let me just ask you quickly, we're just doing very small Q&As. How is it that you, as a startup, you've managed to do this self-test kit for HIV when some of the giant pharmaceutical companies seem not to have done?
It's astounding. I think it's just, sheer tenacity, loads of blood, sweat and tears. We are small and nimble and so determined. And we have a saying, when a door shuts, we'll climb through a window. And that's what we do across the world. We pinch ourselves, we're in this position. We're so lucky.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
And now let's have a 3-minute pitch from Lily Pads coming up.
In rural Kenya today, 65% of women cannot afford sanitary products, leaving young girls with an impossible decision: to have sex with older men in exchange for them, or to drop out of school. I experienced this firsthand during my dissertation research and was determined to find a sustainable solution for these young women. When developing this, we thought of an entrepreneurial decision to develop a product in the UK where we could use the profit to make our products sustainable abroad. Over the last year in the UK, there has been a 400% increase in the amount of consumers looking for an environmentally sustainable product. Within the menstrual market, we're starting to see this with the growth of the menstrual cup. But for those using a reusable pad, they find them both uncomfortable and expensive. At Lily Pads, we developed a sustainable pad. Using all natural materials means that we can reduce the amount of environmental waste in manufacturing, we can cut the sanitary product waste by 99%, and with an innovative design, we can improve comfort. And we can do all of this for 25% cheaper than our current competitors. We're looking at 1.4 million women in the UK trying to reduce their environmental impact. Our new product should be released onto the market at the start of next year, but our product trial results have already been incredibly promising. We're going to be selling online, but are talking to Asda about selling in store too. But with this revenue from this product means in 2 years we will be able to expand out of Kenya and into another market. As a social enterprise, our impact is of tantamount important to us. In the UK, by using a reusable product, we can cut menstrual product waste, but also by manufacturing them here, we can create jobs. In Kenya, since February, we have expanded across 3 regions, training 32 women to deliver menstrual health education and sell pads. We're now in contact with 4 organisations to establish partnerships and expand us further. But for every one of the girls that we work with, we know this pad stops them using transactional sex. It reduces their chance of contracting HIV, and it means they are more likely to go to school. With our team, we have a range of experience in menstrual health and education. We're also developing our partnerships with advisors, such as Amazon, supporting our commercial strategy. Our ask today is to meet Penny Mordaunt, Secretary of State for International Development. So in summary, we have a sustainable product here, and through that we can subsidise products internationally, ensuring all girls have the right to education. By 2020, we will have helped 13,000 girls, because at Lilypads, we believe innovation is a 14-year-old girl with access to a sanitary product. Thank you.
It's what is seems so amazing and fantastic is the story in a way that you can get women in, say, in the UK to connect with young girls in places like Uganda, as you said. That's an incredible story to tell, isn't it?
It's quite amazing watching people's reactions as we sort of say it. A lot of the time, the girls we're working with in Kenya are quite far away from your imagination, but to say to any woman especially, but anyone, we know their stories, we know what they're doing to remain in education. It's an easy buy-in. In the UK, we are primarily all about comfort, though. As a young woman, I realised coming out here that my mic has to be clipped against the back of my neck because we don't develop things that don't work on a belt. And we're starting to say, well, where are all the women in the room? How do we make sure that they can access a comfortable product, something that's affordable, something that works for them and works for girls internationally?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming today. Fantastic. And thank you. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the final 3-minute pitch. Please get your app ready to make sure you are voting. Let's hear now from Turtle Pack.
Your Royal Highness, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael Harkins, founder and CEO of Turtle Pack. Our mission is to make swimming fun, safe, and educational for children. Swimming is magical, and I have a real passion for teaching children an important life skill. I've been a swimmer instructor for over 10 years, where I was the head teacher of the most successful swim school in Scotland. Unfortunately, most swimming aids are restrictive, uncomfortable, and simply lack creativity. Introducing Turtle Pack, a fun swimming aid designed to make learning to swim faster, more efficient, and more enjoyable. Turtle Pack allows children to learn arms free, so they can swim with no restrictions, and provides the correct horizontal body position.
Well, I hope you've all enjoyed those incredible pitches. I have to say that the improvement over the period of time that I've been watching them is remarkable. So I would just like to say to all our entrepreneurs this evening, thank you very much indeed for the work and the effort that you have put in to displaying very clearly what it is that you're doing. So thank you all very much indeed. Just before I announce the list of entrepreneurs that have been voted for this evening, I would just like to say thank you to a couple of people that have made this whole thing possible. Without our partners, and they know who they are, we couldn't be able to deliver the excellence that our team can. So thank you very much indeed to all our partners, both business partners and investment partners. We're also supported by an amazing array of, as it were, innovative businesses that help put this all on. And I'm just going to mention the fact that we work with Gravity Road for strategy, design, and brand advice. And I have to say that as we've developed over the years, it's becoming more and more well known. Red 9, for all they do in order to help us get the brand and the message out there. Fieldhouse, who support us in ways in the public relations field that Buckingham Palace can't do. It's not the fact they can't do it, it's the fact that they're slightly conflicted in the way that they'd have to do it, so it's much easier to get somebody like Fieldhouse who are brilliant at it. So thank you very much indeed. Juka, who work on all our videos, and we've updated our videos, I think, as you've probably seen today. Seven Hills for their help with the work that we do in terms of advocating, so our annual review, thank you very much for that. And by the way, you've got the annual review and the Cambridge Judge Business School reports in your bags to take with you this evening. And also Neverbland and Zappa. Zappa are a new partner, and they are the pair of businesses that have helped us with the augmented royalty, which you can go and play with for the rest of the evening at your leisure. And also Blue Stag, who have helped us with the People's Choice Award, which is also very important. Of course, I said right at the very beginning that none of what we are able to do couldn't be made possible without the support and your participation here in the audience. So thank you all for what you are doing and can do to make a material difference to these businesses. And lastly, thank you to our entrepreneurs, again, for all the work that they have put in. I tell them every time that I make no bones about putting them under pressure, and that palaces are red and gold, which is designed to be intimidating. Let me tell you that they have performed, and they've outperformed themselves tonight, and I would just like to say congratulations to all of them. Thank you very much indeed. So, the People's Choice Award tonight goes to On the Tools. And there are 3 winners this evening, and they are 1 vote, effectively, between each of them. So we'll just call them out one at a time. And they are Stasher, Lilypads, and BioSure. Was it? Even if you had to go first. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you. There's lots of networking time now to be had before you all rush off for dinner somewhere. But thank you very much indeed for coming this evening. We're back again, actually, across at St James's on the 12th of December with the global final, which will showcase what we have seen during the year as we've travelled round the globe. And there are some really interesting ones there. So thank you again, and see you on the 12th of December. Thank you very much. So you're taking that off, are you?